Welcome to the Coffee with Phil and Jim podcast, where two guys drink coffee and talk about stuff. And now your hosts, Phil and Jimmy Nic.
3, 2, 1. Hey listeners, Phil here with the Coffee with Phil and Jim podcast. I'm here with my co-host,
Jimmy Nic, and howdy!
We are actually not in the studio today. We are recording from the great office of Phil, and a little change of pace today. But anyways, I want to remind everybody to make sure to search, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and our Spreaker app as well. Leave us a comment. If you want to join a conversation or comment on a conversation, you can email us at coffeewithphilandjim@gmail.com, and then you can also instant message us on Facebook. So we're in the Swimweat studio today, aka my office, talking about something, and Jimmy Nic, I think, has got something for us that is pretty maybe weird,
or a little weird or something here, but I mean they can also get a hold of us through carrier pigeon, can't they?
Yes,
if they choose to.
Yes, only certain pigeons.
Only certain pigeons, though.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, today there seems to be this thing going around on the internet called Florida Man. Just put in there Google Florida Man with whatever month, like February, and the date you was born in, and go with the first story that comes up. That is your Florida Man story for today. So I went and tried that, and I got a couple of them that were really strange here. This is one for February 24th, which is my brother's birthday. And the first story up was Squirrel Attacks Florida Man.
What? What?
And see, I get all the story in there. Florida squirrel attacks Florida man, goes crazy, and goes nuts on Florida man. It was raised by the neighbor. So here it is. It says Florida man attacked by a crazy squirrel gone nuts, and it was raised by his neighbor. And they actually got a video of it. I thought, well, that's a strange story. So I just went down a couple more here. You remember that back in the day when you went to school and you didn't do your homework, you know, the ABO excuse, your dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
You know? Well, now this one here, this one happened, this was published February 24th of 17. It said, Florida man accused dog of shooting girlfriend in leg. You can't make this up.
Oh my goodness, that's for real. That's a real story.
That's for real, yeah. I don't know, maybe Fido just got fed up. He had enough of it. I don't know what the deal was there. But that is some crazy stuff right there, man. So Disney has been down here in Florida for too long, I think. So,
That's awesome.
The dog did it, man. She wasn't seriously wounded. I think they said she was slightly injured in the leg, and he got her, snuck up on her, and got her while she was asleep too. I mean, how mad you gotta get that dog? How mad that dog gotta get? He's gonna pull a gun on you. That's just crazy.
Oh my Lanta, that's awesome.
I'll tell you. Now here's another one. Now this is even getting a little squirrely here. This is August 15th, Florida man. It says, Florida man wrecks liquor shop, blames Caterpillar.
What?
Yeah, it does here. This guy did $100,000 worth of damage in this building a new liquor store.
Yeah.
Did over $100,000 worth of damage on this liquor store. And he told the police that his name was Alice in Wonderland, and that a hookah-smoking caterpillar ordered him to attack the site.
Wow.
From Crestview, Florida.
That's for real.
That's for real. All righty, so... Oh, wow, man.
Oh, wow.
Well, I tell you, this country's in bad.
Okay, all right.
funny.
So I did mine, Florida man, with my birthday, and let's see. Ooh, I can't say that one on the air. Here's another one. Cops bust man who said name was Ben Dover. Hold on, I gotta read this one.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh my gosh, he looks like a Ben Dover. It says Florida man who identified himself to police as Ben Dover was arrested on an obstruction charge for providing cops with a phony name, according to court filings. On Tuesday, a sheriff's deputy asked a man to leave a park in Palm Harbor, a St. Petersburg suburb, and arrested. The cop noted that John Chestnut Park closed at 6 p.m. and as such, he was preparing to issue a trespass warning to the park goer. The man gave the cop the middle finger and got in the deputy's face as if he were going to hit him. The man was fled on foot, was apprehended after a short chase. Dover, as it turned out, was actually Andrew Linton, a 22-year-old Palm Harbor resident.
Oh,
That's good.
all right, man. There's some crazy out there.
I can't read that one up there.
Oh no.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, I guess old Fido, he's doing what, 2 to 10 down there. Dog pound.
He got an extra 5 years for while she was sleeping.
Yeah, I know it, man.
That's funny.
The dog did it. Sure it did.
So, Florida man, put your birth month and
Your date, birth date.
birth date,
Don't have to put the year, just the
and
date.
see that. Awesome.
And the first story up is your Florida man story. It's supposed to be, but the ones funnier ones are below them, actually. Because they're all for the same date anyway, just different years.
Well, I got to tell you, before we move anything forward with this, I want to give a shout out. There's people in El Reno will appreciate this. But there's a new baking boutique that opened up uptown called Allie's Baking Boutique, and it's over there, Rock Island, 113 South Rock Island, and I would highly recommend that you go on Facebook and you search Allie's Baking Boutique and like her page because she's got some great pastries. She's been creating pastries and all this since 2012, and baking custom sweets such as special occasion cakes to wedding cakes to cupcakes to cookies and all sorts of desserts to make any dessert table look great. The desserts are great.
And how much do you get out of those?
I get nothing other than hopefully a free piece of pie or a cupcake.
I don't know about this. A boutique? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Boutique, I mean.
It's a baking boutique.
I
Now-
don't know. You call it a bake shop or something.
That's a bake shop. Down here in El Reno, we got a bake shop right here.
Boutique. That sounds just like a little Nancy job to me. That's all.
Oh, it's awesome. No.
Speaking of that,
Uh-oh.
we had our former guest on there named Jace,
Right.
and you are these big Marvel fans for some reason or another. Anyway, one of them Marvel characters, the Wolverine.
Right.
Right.
Yep,
Well,
Weapon X, yep.
and who plays Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Now, Hugh Jackman, as everybody knows, he likes to tap dance to sing in Oklahoma. He was in that musical Oklahoma in 1999, and he did Lay Miserable here back a few years ago. Well, now he's come along and he Nancy'd up Wolverine. And here's have just a bit of Wolverine, get this here started here. It's
Please
Wolverine
welcome
the
to the
musical.
stage, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine from Wolverine the Musical. Who am I? Am I a superhero with some
gosh.
claws? Or just an actor searching for applause? Wolverine has all the fans, but what about me, Hugh Jackman? Who am I?
Hugh Jackman.
I play the Wolfman, yes, it's quite the task. In X-Men Days of Future Past, there's the plug. I'm at the gym doing weights each day. Hugh has got to look buff, they say. Must I lie? I cannot eat this ice cream anymore. I need a body people can adore. I gave up junk food, that I know. I made that bargain long ago. And all my snacks and crisps, they're gone. And now this Wolverine can go on. Who am I? Who am I? I'm Wolverine.
So there you have it. The man Nancied up the Wolverine.
He's just multi-talented. That's all it
Multi-talented. Is that what they call that?
He's just multi-talented.
Oh, well, yeah, if you want to say so. You wouldn't see Batman doing that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Nowadays, you have to see him do just about anything. Let's give a big hand there for old Hugh Jackman there.
All right, that sounds good.
We got a pretty good studio audience here today. All right.
All right, well, we want to welcome our studio audience today. And
Yeah, I didn't see all them people sitting.
oh, yeah, I snuck up. Got my wooden leg.
All right. Yeah, you better watch that Fido will shoot at you.
It's funny the things that you find on the internet.
I know, it's crazy. But anyway, that's Hugh Jackman and his Wolverine.
That's good. That's real good.
So anyway, what do we want to talk about today?
Well,
Did you done anything in your life today or this week?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Anything you want to bring to the people and talk about,
Well, let's see. What should we start with? Well, I know last week he gave me the opportunity to fill in to the Senior Saints Bible study.
Oh, yeah, that was
I think that was really
interesting.
good.
Actually, it was actually pretty good. We actually had some conversation going there, I think.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do that again tomorrow, if I understand, so
Yep.
that'll be interesting, too.
Matter of fact, I had somebody call me earlier and ask if we were still having it because of spring break. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course we're having it. So,
yeah. Didn't even get the message. We got a message there earlier
Yeah.
here today.
yeah. So
anyway, that ought to be interesting tomorrow. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a slow week, isn't it? It's been kind of slow. Hasn't
yeah,
it?
spring break's on us.
Spring break. Nobody want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Getting warmer, and I just want to get outside kind of weather anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a beautiful day outside. It's it's not too bad. Definitely want to go out. I did go to the doctor.
You went to the doctor.
Got follow up with my lab work and all that stuff. So good report. Basically, just need to lose a little weight, be okay.
Oh, they always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know mine. I got to go see mine next Thursday. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Now he did ask me based upon my blood work. He said, "Do you drink a lot of coffee?" I was like, yes. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink coffee throughout the whole day."
What is that?
And he said, "You may need to tone that down a little bit because I have really bad acid reflux."
Yeah.
And he's thinking it probably comes from all the coffee I drink.
Oh, well, yeah, I can understand them cutting back on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is my 8th cup today instead of my 20th.
I've been searching all week, and that guy over at Chill and Serve,
Oh, yeah. What's that? The guy that does the blog.
I can't really think
Chill
of his
Serve,
name.
chilloutandserve.com.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
that guy.
Chilloutandserve.com.
Well, he's been going, I don't know. He's been kind of going silent on us here this week. I'm all waiting there. Needles and pens waiting for new message coming down.
What's this next new
Next
blog?
message going to be, but there ain't been nothing coming down there. He must be on spring break.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Just really crazy. My youngest has got the flu right now, so that's been crazy and all that stuff. But other than that, getting ready for a couple of big things we're doing around here. We got a all-church Dodgers game we're going to. We got, oh my goodness, there's several things happening. We're having a Q&A with the pastor, the Thrive Student Ministry and College of Career, so we're getting ready for that.
When are you having a hootenanny?
That's the...
Fifth Sunday?
No, that's...
It'll be next Sunday.
That's the 32nd day of December every year.
Well, yeah, that happens. We can do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a hootenanny, and then we'll follow it up with, I don't know.
That's right.
Another deal there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been thinking about some things. I don't know if they're any good, but need to pass up. But right at the moment here, let's see here. You ready for the basketball tournament starting tonight?
Oh,
It
March Madness.
starts tonight. It's all over the place. And I don't know. Anything new that you'd really like to talk about as far as relationships with Christ tonight or something like that?
Well, I kind of want to springboard off our senior saint study last week.
What did we talk about last week?
Well, yeah, we talked a lot of stuff last week. But what I really want to kind of talk about is, there's several senior saints in that group get together every Friday, pretty much every Friday unless something's happening, and you have a teacher that teaches and all that stuff. Something I wanted to do a little bit differently was just have some conversations. When we started this podcast, something that I noticed was a lot of people don't have conversations about anything.
No.
They talk at each other, but they really don't have conversations. And I thought that might be really fun to do in the Senior Saints, and it was great. I think we had a great response. People were talking, sharing their heart, what's on their heart.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Our regular teacher, he's been gone. We probably don't have that kind of conversation when he is there, but then again, he's a heavy drinker.
Well,
last time I heard about him, he was in the Caribbean somewhere. So
yeah, I think there's some pictures on Facebook.
I don't even know if he's going to be back or not. Hopefully, he will be.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a month, so
yeah, he drinks a whole lot of coffee.
We're gonna see how that works out. Yeah, but yeah, we had a good conversation. Basically, the question that I started off with was, what do you think hinders Christianity today? And we had some really good answers.
The number one answer was people.
Yeah. Well, we
people get in the way of everything.
We kind of got down to that, yeah. Like it started with the school stuff about taking prayer to school and Bible and things like that, and then we talked about the home, the differences in the homes now. A lot of
well, that's to me though. You get off into something like that. So you're really talking about. We look at the schools and we look at prayer being taken out of schools and different things, Bible being taken out and all this, but it all started in the home anyway.
Right.
I mean, we sit around and we look at the politicians that we have elected here and have now, and the politicians in a free society, we elect them. So generally, they're a reflection of the whole society. Mm-hmm. So if you think they're nasty and corrupt, you better step back and take a look at our whole society as a whole.
Yeah.
Because they do represent their, a composite of everything that this country's about. And if that's what you got up there, and the way it's run, how do we run our regular lives on a daily basis?
Right.
The way they run the country. And they do in a lot of ways. You think about people run up large debts, don't pay things, and stuff like that. They do the same thing that people do in their own family lives, too.
Yeah.
So it's a reflection on everything that we do. So I don't know.
I think my thinking too is, the different dynamics of a home life now obviously are different than even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. There's a lot of split families, a lot of single parents, things like that, mixed families, families joining together, all that stuff. There's a huge, crazy dynamic what it used to be. I guess one of my points to that is, are we reaching those family units? Are we judging those family units? Somebody that comes in around us, or someone that we see that's, in that different family dynamic, and maybe they're not wearing the cleanest clothes, or maybe they got a little stench to them, or things like that. Are we loving them, or are we?
Are you saying that we're picking and choosing, maybe being discriminatory towards people that we think just don't fit in? Are you looking at it that way? Is this person too far gone to bring back, or we be the judge in that or not?
I don't know necessarily about too far gone, but I do see a lot of maybe judging at first impressions.
I mean, like, well, the guy's a drug addict or something.
Right.
Well, do you want to help him deal with that or not? That's the question. Or if he's alcoholic, do you want to help him deal with his alcoholism?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to, then generally they're not going to work to try to, get him into church or anything else, because it becomes too much, because you have to become involved in people's lives. They become, once you start down that road with that person, you got to help see them through it. One way or another, it's either going to turn out one way or another, and hopefully they'll get sober and they'll surrender their lives to Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
You got to invest a lot of your time into that. You got to be willing to go the mile, because then people, when they want to drink or they need their drugs, they may not be all the most friendliest people you're ever going to run into either. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to, or just say, well, I don't mind talking to these people over here. Well, he sends it up a little bit, so I can go talk to him. He's easy to talk to.
Yeah.
But if you got the ones that's got the serious problems out there, are you willing to go in there and help them? Step in there.
Right.
And see if you can do something with the real serious ones, instead of just saying, well, Willie over, like I said, he's he's not half bad,
Yeah, he goes fishing with me on the weekend, so we're good. We can talk about stuff.
Be easy to handle.
Yeah, I think that's something that really, because, I mean, honestly, our flesh seems to always go to the path of least resistance, and especially in relationships and things like that. One thing is, if someone like that, let's say somebody, James, Book of James talks about this on respect of persons, and you have the guy that comes in with the nice garb and all royalty looking, and then you have the scumbag here, basically, and it's like, there's no respect of persons. Well, I think a lot of churches and a lot of believers, they have a respect of persons. Coming from a life lived where I wasn't raised in church, I wasn't raised in a religious system, wasn't raised in even a semi-nice neighborhood until later on, when I got connected with my dad for the first time, and they usually lived in a nicer neighborhood, but living with my mom, it was, we were living from project to ghetto to things like that. And I think about that a lot when I see somebody that maybe resembles me or people that I know, from that time frame,
where you came from,
right? And even myself, coming out of that, and the different changes that God really produced in my life that I didn't realize till later. And the first step out of all that was my salvation, because it didn't start turning around until I trusted Christ as my Savior. Mm. And then being ignorant in anything past my salvation, God used people and times and different situations to bring me to where I'm at now. And it was people that didn't look on what I looked like or what I smelled like. It was, okay, this kid's got some potential. This kid, he may need Jesus, or he needs help, and was intentional about that. And I think what I see in some believers is the idea of, well, you're just not in my class. So
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I think it's kind of the American thing here that I'll give you 15 minutes worth of my time. And if you got something that's simple that I can handle that's simple, I'll help you work through that. But if it's something that's going to be long term and it could get really dirty and nasty, and helping them get through the problem, well, I don't want to deal with that because that invests too much of my time. Everything here is on a speed up system in this country.
right.
And we got to have everything now, and we want to get through it now. We want to solve problems in 15 minutes. We don't want to have to take a year and spend it, or 2 years or something like that, working somebody through through to the end of the solution there. Mm-hmm. We want it all right now. And so that there's one of the things so if we're going to be a church that's going to try to reach this whole community, we got to be willing, because this town has got some real nasty things going on in it.
Right.
Some people that's in some real nasty situations in this town, and if we want to help and reach everybody in this town, we got to be willing to go do that.
Yeah.
And that's going to mean we might have to get our hands dirty and get down in the dirt and mud with them.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to require, because this is not going to be a cakewalk. If you go to reach everybody in the community, you don't ignore them.
Yeah.
Because he's got a drug problem or an alcohol problem or whatever,
That's right.
Or she may be the town whatever, slept with everybody in town.
Well,
do you ignore a person like that? No, you don't.
No. Well, think about that. Look at who God used, in just the lineage of Jesus.
Yeah, there was Rahab.
Yeah, I mean, look at those people that God used, that Jesus trained, all that at the time took over the world, because they weren't.
Look at Mary Magdalene, and her, and who was it, Joanna, and the other woman, I can't think of her name, that they actually gave out of what they had to take care of the disciples.
Yeah.
And Jesus. It was from their own money and everything that they actually provided for them and took care of them. And she was what, a prostitute?
Yeah.
So Christ uses people. He didn't judge them. We're not to judge them. But are we willing to invest the time into reaching them?
Right.
Because like I said, it's nasty out there, and this town is full of nasty. I mean, big time nasty. It's sad, the condition that it's gotten in, but it's just a reflection on who we are as people. That's all it is.
That's sad.
It's really sad.
That's
I mean,
really
you look
sad.
at it, but there is hope, and that hope is Christ Jesus. And we're either going to keep our light under the bucket, or we're going to take the bucket off and let it shine. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's a choice we're all going to have to make individually, and also as a church.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one to say we're going to be 242, but what are we going to do with the 242 once we got it?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Are we willing to pay the price? And it will cost us to go do this. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be cheap. It will cost us in a whole lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. But are you willing to sacrifice it for the cause of Christ and for the gospel?
Right. Are you willing to put the time and the effort into it to do what needs to be done in that person? And, there may be some holdback, too, of maybe you've done that and you've been hurt before. Well, that's going to happen. You're going to get hurt. And that's just the way it happened. But something that I was reminded about today was, when you invest that intentional time into somebody, and you're discipling them, you're training them, they're growing and all that stuff, but maybe they bail, or maybe something happens where they just quit.
Yeah.
And I was reminded today that before you get discouraged, before you say I'm just going to quit, trying, look around and see at those people that you have invested your life that are actually still doing something. They're still in ministry. They haven't bailed. They're still working for Christ. They're serving.
Those are successes in
Right.
that, and you're seeing that. But you also have to step back and take a look. When somebody fails like that, you got to look at it also. When you failed, did God give up on you?
That's a great point.
Because, like I said, I walked away for over a decade. He came and got me and brought me back. He didn't have to, but he chose to.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing and a half just in itself. So if somebody fails at something, you don't stop.
Right.
You know, or they slip in drinking or doing drugs, you don't give up on them because it's a process. You know, you got to learn to diet. The whole point of it, you got to learn to diet to self in that. And then when you learn to diet to self and you start putting Christ first, a lot of these addiction stuff goes away as you get away from yourself.
Yeah.
Once you start dying to self and self becomes unimportant and you start getting away from self, that stuff slowly just kind of disappears out of your life. I know in my personal life, my relationship has grown with him. You know, I tried to be this good guy doing this and doing that. Well, you know, you're always failing at it.
Right.
But when I just concentrate on my relationship with him, you look around and say, wow, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm involved in a relationship with him now, and, you know, I don't even think about those things anymore, won't do any of that stuff. You know, and it doesn't, because but when I tried not to do them, I ended up doing them twice as much as I did before.
Yeah.
So it was in the relationship with him that, you know, I started concentrating and getting involved in what he's telling me to do and not to do, you know, living it. It's in that personal relationship that, you know, you forget all about that stuff. It actually goes away because it's no longer a part of your life. And you're more interested in what he has to say than all that.
Yeah.
And you slowly just leave yourself behind back here.
And what helps develop that relationship with God that has that organic transformation is people having a relationship in your life to help you to grow, to train, to lead. Because there's things that we don't know that we're still learning.
Right. And
there's things that even each other, we work off each other and go, oh, I didn't know that, you know, and we, that's the way it should be. And that's kind of what I was hoping for, which happened in our Senior Saints study last week was that people were bouncing off each other. I thought it got a little snippy there for a while, but
I'm not going to name no
yeah,
names.
but it calmed down quickly
because
somebody else said something that made them think a little bit and go, oh. And that's a great learning environment. And I've learned that the best learning that I've ever done, and I would probably go to say the best learning that anybody could ever do, is when you're studying your word, that you study it together with somebody.
Yeah.
And you're able to bounce around, you're able to talk, you're able to, it moves things forward so much more.
Well, you know, people are used to going in, you know, they go into a classroom, they sit down, and the teacher gets up there, and the teacher gives a lecture on something, you know, and there might be a question or two asked during the whole thing, but when they get through, they get up and they leave and they go home.
Right.
Well, they're not going to remember most of what was said in there, is because they didn't get in there and interact in there with the questions and the discussion and learn from what she's actually saying instead of just hearing it, instead of getting involved in the actual lesson itself.
Right.
And, you know, if you get people talking and discussing certain things, you're going to learn a lot more, and you're going to grow in it, too. And that's important with the communication.
I find, too, that it becomes uneasy, too, because sometimes you're going to say something somebody else doesn't like, sometimes you're going to say something wrong, but I think that's part of the process.
It's part of the growing process.
Yeah, you go, oh, no, that's not right.
Yeah,
and I say things wrong all the time.
Yeah,
and somebody else will go, oh, actually, okay.
Well, we're wrong most of the time. So.
Yeah, that's right.
I like it.
Yeah. That's right.
I blame it on the dog.
That's the excuse now.
Yeah.
Watch them win legs.
It's crazy stuff. But no, I mean, you know, that's we got to be willing to invest the time, and that's investing yourself into it. And like, it's not all going to be pretty. If we think it's all going to be just one big pretty deal, you just go down here and you're going to tell somebody about Jesus, and they're going to fall on their knees and confess, and it's all just going to be sunshine.
Yeah.
But now they're coming out of who knows what they're coming out of, and it will not let you alone. It'll try to drag them right back into it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, they're going to have to walk away from family and friends, even a job, even, you know.
Yeah.
It's required, whatever they're doing for a living, if it's going to put them in that position. You know, there's all kinds of things has to change in a person's life. It just, you know, it didn't glory hallelujah and you're saved, and, you know, you can still hang out with the same people and do the same things, because they're going to drag you right back into it. Yeah. So, you know, this meeting somebody and, well, I talked them into Jesus. Well, what happened to them afterwards?
Yeah.
What did they do? They go back to a house where everybody drinks and everything else goes on,
Yeah.
and they're right back to where they were at.
Well, yeah. Well, look at Peter. When there was that short time, he said, "I'm gonna go fishing," and went back to what he knew, and Jesus showed up on the scene. Hey, yeah.
Well, that's what gets me, because a lot of people are just saying, well, they decided to go fishing that day, but he actually went back to fishing.
Right.
He was going back to his job.
Exactly.
And then Christ showed up,
goes,
which he usually does. Christ always shows up.
That's right, and goes over and beyond.
Right.
Part of that unconditional sacrificial thing,
But
that agape love.
It's a nasty world, and people got a whole lot of problems out there.
Right.
You think you got problems? There's a whole lot of nasty problems.
That's one thing that I think about too, is just when I think my life is bad, there's going to be somebody out there that's
really
really
you go,
worse.
oh man,
So
it's tragic.
yeah,
The world's a fallen world, and that's what's happening. It's headed downhill fast, especially in this society. Society doesn't have much time left, I don't think. I mean, you can't go on doing what we're doing and not have a reaction from God somewhere in this.
Right.
We're going to pay the price for the abortions and the same-sex marriages and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pay a price for that. It's you're going to reap what you sow. And if people in this country think that that's not going to happen, it happens. If it happens in your personal life, that you do things and you reap what you sow because of those, this nation will reap too. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be pretty. And it has become a greedy, selfish society that is open to anything. But they forgot all about God. They might have put his name on the money, but I don't think that's the God that they really put on there.
no.
Because that's not who they trust in, nor who do they worship. So.
Well, money becomes the god.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's all these. We have all these many gods all around us that we put our time, effort, worship, all that into, and the real true God becomes a byproduct of that,
Right.
and ends up eventually being nothing.
Well, they say that the Hinduism, it has 33 million gods, different gods. And if you want to turn around and twist it another way, America's got 300 million different gods. We're all our own God. That's the problem.
Yeah,
So,
that's for sure.
that's for real serious there. So we become a country of lazy people, for one thing. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody out there, but if you're offended, it's okay.
That's right.
I mean, if you can't go to the Walmart and pick out your own groceries, we become a very lazy society here. Now, like I said, it's okay for you to get mad and angry about this, but come on, man. I mean, do something for yourself, I mean, your kids are looking at this. If you're showing laziness, what are they going to see? They won't even go to the store. What are they going to have to do? Somebody from Walmart going to have to come home and cook it for you? I mean, what's it do? And feed it to you?
Well, you are aware that they have that deal called Uber Eats, right? Where they go pick up your burger from McDonald's and drop it off at your house.
What's a Grubhub deal too? Grubhub. I mean, come on, people. I mean, you already go through the drive-through with the deal. Now you got them bringing it to your house.
Here's my deal. Seriously, for the fast food deal, the Grubhub and all that. I don't want people touching my food like that. Like, I have a hard time dealing with the pizzas.
Well, when that leaves that store, I don't want some stranger hauling my food down the road and you don't tell what they got to do with that food.
Yeah, or what they have in their car, and stuff like that. I'm like, that gets me. That gets me.
I mean, they're more trusting than I am. It's bad enough what they used to do to the McDonald's burgers when I was in high school. I had friends that worked there.
Okay, well, they do that at Burger King too, so.
They do it everywhere, I guess. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so everybody just come on, let's get a little oomph in you. If you quit doing stuff like that, sooner or later you're not going to be able to get up out of that chair and even do anything. We're going to have to pipe church into your house. You won't even be able to. Have to have somebody to come over and help you to the bathroom. So let's just go buy our own groceries.
I think it's already happening.
I think it is too, man. It's crazy. But anyway, let's quit being lazy.
So today's podcast is we talk about not being lazy anymore.
Yeah, right. Come on, people.
Well, you know, we live in an age where technology is advancing so rapidly, which initially makes things easier, but sometimes makes things more complicated. You know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I can go on right now and I can buy a bunch of stuff from Amazon and get it to my door in 2 days. That's great, but the more sweet, like with that social media. I mean, there's a lot of things that are in place that keeps people from other people. You're not around people. You don't talk to people. And
I got a thing from Amazon the other day. Invite me to join their deal there for same day service.
whoa,
They delivered it to me on the day I ordered it. So
whoa,
you know,
you must be elite group.
well, you know, I do have connections. You know. My money spent as good as yours does.
That's right.
They met up with some of my Benjamins and stuff. You know?
Yeah, this looks fake. But
Yeah.
we take that people element out of a lot of stuff. So therefore, and like you said earlier, it's instant. We want to get things done quickly. So when we do go to Walmart, it's in and out, cashier, oh thanks, and we leave. Have a good day. Instead of striking up a conversation, talking to them, being friendly even.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of people that aren't friendly anymore.
Yeah. And you talk about what's going on in Washington, how nasty and everything people are. Well, I know a few years ago, I'd probably 25 years ago, somewhere in there, that, you know, people started getting more hostile then. You know, where people might say hello to you when you went in the store or something, you know, you know, or somebody, you know, wouldn't hold a door for people or anything. You know, people used to be courteous.
Right.
And I noticed it started getting that way. People became more, you know, just kind of nasty towards each other. They'd shout out stuff. And that's when you started getting the road rage and all that stuff going on out there. People just started getting hostile towards each other. And look at it. Where'd it cover on to? It's the people we elected. Look how they are in Washington right now.
Yeah.
They're exactly the way the society is. And, you know, drive-bys and all this stuff and, you know, road rage, and you name it, people just nasty towards each other, you know. I tell you what,
We need Jesus.
if I could have trademarked the bird, I'd be a rich man today, you know.
That's right. Oh man. I could see that. You would own Amazon.
Really.
That would be.
Boros would be working for me.
That's right.
Well, if that little old gal from New York has her way, it'll be working for all of us.
Hey, it looks
She's going
like-
to take everything he got and just give it to all of us.
That's
It's all
right.
for free, man. Go for that, can't you?
I'm not against Amazon. I like Amazon. Matter of fact, I'm
Yeah.
expecting a package from Amazon today. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we get away from people, just people, and as believers, we can't. You know, God has left us here to share the gospel. To
I mean, what I'm saying is that we may not be knowing it that we discriminate in that sense. It's like, oh, well, you know, and then, oh, well, that's so-and-so, and they do this, you know.
why?
And so you automatically, well, you know,
Yeah.
you don't associate with those type. And so you don't really realize that you're doing it even, you know.
Yeah.
People do it. And if we're going to reach this whole community, we're going to have to look all the way past that.
Right.
Because everybody's just a human being.
And we're gonna have to be willing to reach out to them and not
Yeah.
wait for them to
When it
come to us.
Right.
And I think that's a falsehood around our American church culture is when they come in. So when they come in on a Sunday morning, oh, okay, great, and then we give them the shakedown and go,
Yeah.
well, you know,
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah, come on in here. Good, happy to see you. I saw you up the store there. Oh, well, you did.
yeah, that's right.
You know, they're only welcome when they come through the door. When they were up at the Walmart there on Saturday, you didn't even look at me, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
who's that strange looking critter?
that's right. Or you say, oh, a guest comes in, oh yeah, and somebody sees them and goes, oh, and they take off because well, they saw him at the liquor store the night before or something, you know.
Yeah, that happens.
But and that's something that I think we need to get back on as people. And
people are just human beings. They're all the same.
Right.
Everybody's got different problems and everything. You know, even if Caterpillar told you to run over that building, he was smoking a hookah.
That is literally from the Alice in Wonderland movie with what's his name in it? Johnny Depp. As the Mad Hatter. That's literally from that. I remember that.
The Caterpillar smoking a hookah?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I remember that scene.
We had a hookah bar up the street there when I lived over in Bethany there.
Really?
My car's there. It's probably still there. Go in there, it's got Middle Eastern food, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah, they had a hookah bar up there.
Okay.
Go in there and get you some good garbanzo beans and
get you some curry and smoke you a little something.
And whatever they had
good to
there.
go.
It was good stuff. But are we going to be nice to our fellow citizens?
Yeah.
Are we going to invite everybody to Jesus Christ? They're all human beings. It doesn't matter what they've done or what they're doing. Everybody, when it comes down to it, are just scared of life.
And it could be easily as just being polite, being kind to someone, opening a door.
Everybody needs a friend.
Yeah.
And we got the greatest friend there is, and that's Jesus Christ. Are we willing to share our friend with Christ with everybody, or we're going to discriminate and pick and choose who we're going to allow in when all should be able to come in to the Lord's house?
That's right.
So,
well, let's call it a podcast.
Well, we might. That's what you've been calling the thing.
Yeah,
I hadn't figured out what I thought it was just an old
hootenanny
or some kind of session going on here. But anyway, let's see here. Let's see if I got any cry. Well, what do you people out there in the audience think, huh? What do you think, huh? Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah,
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I went out and I looked up this song here, if I can find it. Oh, well, I lost it. No, it's on the other deal. But anyway, this song here, it's called Give Me the Simple Life.
Okay.
So I listened to Bing Crosby's version. All right. Ella Fitzgerald, Rosemary Clooney. He even went to my man, Mr. I Left My Heart in San Francisco, Tony Bennett, man. Not quite. Tony didn't quite hit on this. Now, this old boy we listened to last week did this song.
Oh, really?
Steve Tyrell.
Okay.
And it's from that movie Father of the Bride 2.
Oh, yeah, with Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. And here's that song. This is the best version of this song I could find.
Folks are blessed who make the best of every day, living by their own philosophy. Everyone beneath the sun must find a way, and I have found the only way for me. I don't believe in fretting and grieving. Why mess around with strife? I never was cut out to step and strut out. Give me the simple life. Some find it pleasant, dining on pheasant. Those things roll off my knife. Just serve me tomatoes and mashed potatoes. Give me the simple life.
All right.
Yeah,
Give me the simple life. Now, that's a sweet sound song right there.
That's a cool
All
show
right.
song.
Well, this is Jimmy Nic.
And this is Phil. Until next time.
Adios.